everybody, it's Yvonne here, and I'm here today with another card for youth, for children. And this one here is a little more of the old school way to make something. For those of you who are experienced, it's a fun card to make. Those of you who are newcomers, it's an easy card to make. And for those of us who collect paper scraps, it's a good way to get rid of your paper scraps. So let's get started. What you'll need for this is a base for a card, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and I start with that, and then I took out a bunch of scrap paper that I have, different colors, and I cut out a whole bunch of squares. And my squares are 1 inch by 1 inch, like this, whole bunch of different squares. And then you can, for those of you who do not have dies, can cut out some balloons. And again, this is all with scraps of paper because it's so tiny. Little balloons, either by creating a little circle or whatever you want to do. I just happen to have a balloon die here, so I used it, but it's not rocket science to make a little circle, so it should be quite easy. And so it's a card that goes quick if you have a little party to get to for your child or anything. I'm going to use my silicone mat that I bought at the Dollarama for $2, a real great buy. And you can use liquid glue for this. You can use dollar store side-by-side tape. I'm using the score tape just because I have it, and it's faster if I'm going to do this with the camera on. But you can use anything that is adhesive that you have around the house. I mean, Elmer's school glue, anything at all. If you're using school glue, or wet glue, my only suggestion to you is to spread it with your finger once you put it in to alleviate the lumps. Okay, that really will alleviate it. So now I've covered my whole panel here with glue or adhesive. Two-way tape is what I used it. Now I could have used as easily the Dollarama store two-way tape. I love it. I think it's as good as the Suquan, but I just had wide Suquan, so that's why I decided Suquan, whichever way you say it. Anyhow, okay, so now we start. Now that we have all these, and some of you might be wondering all these squares, wondering how many. It would be 5 times 4, 20 cubes, I guess. It's as easy as that. And there's no rhyme or reason which way to put it or whatever. Just use it. And if you want to use all different colors, you can do that too. You don't have to necessarily use the same colors as I have. And this is just like a little piecing. So you're going to start, and you're going to start your pattern. You can go up, you can go down. It doesn't have to be really, really symmetrical in colors, or just go for it. Use your imagination and go for it, because that's what it's all about. And the more you do it, the more you enjoy doing it. Now, this is a super great craft if you have a card, if you have children that are that love to hang around mom or dad or all the time to see what you're doing. This is a great way to get them busy and get them doing what you do. And they can sit next to you, cut all their squares out and whatnot. And but it's also a grown-up card. It's quite easy. If you use liquid glue, you end up making your pattern a lot easier, which makes sense, right? But because you can move them around. Once you lay these down on the sticker, they're there for the taking. So with children, maybe I'd get them to use glue, liquid glue, just because of the simplicity of it. But that's entirely up to you, really. Okay, so now I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to put another one here. And I think you get the gist of where I'm going with this. The basic thing is to keep them aligned, because if you don't keep them aligned, lined up, you're going to end up having a crooked line. Or when I say lined up, it's within reason, so you don't have anything showing, because you are going to put some stuff on top of it. But it's quite simple, you know. It's before all these electrical tools and whatever came out, this was all something that you could do, you know, and enjoy doing at that, you know. So let me see. I'm talking and I'm not paying attention here. But another thing that for you is that is enjoyable to do. It's very therapeutical, I find. You know, to go back to where we started, and why not, right? Why not? It's a relaxing thing to do. It's great family time if you want to. And as I'm working here, I'm thinking, you know, why not tell your kids while you're doing it how many pieces there is, if they're young enough, how many pieces there is, where would you use it, you know, all different stuff like that, and to see what they say, you know, because it's a good way to practice their math, I would think. Let's see here. It's a very good way for them to practice their math skills and their school stuff. This is me. I'm just like, maybe I should have used white glue too, huh? I just didn't line it up properly, and that bugged me. So there. Okay, so now we have our little square. I'm going to finish the bottom. Wasn't paying attention, didn't finish the bottom. So maybe one way to do this in an even is you could, if you wanted to, just cut it 5 by 4, and then it would leave you with no edge here to try to figure out what you're going to do with. That's entirely up to you. Or after you're done, maybe it's a good way to do it, because after you're done, you don't have to worry about cutting the bottom off. I just like to give it a little bit. I'll tell you why I left it like that is because it gave me a little room to kind of set up my blocks, that if there was anything to make it crooked, I'd have some room to straighten it out at the end. But that's a good reason. So you end up with this. Isn't that sweet? Very colorful, very youthful, very alive. Now, pardon me, I used my cardstock, which is all bits and pieces. But for the balloons, I took out some leftover bits and pieces of glitter paper. And these I'm going to mount. So I'm going to take my good old Duramax 2A tape from the dollar store. You can use your 3M. You could use your, you know, whatever you have. If you have dots, thick dot, glue dots, that'll work too. And if you don't have anything at all, you can also take your balloons and layer them. If you want to, if you don't have anything, don't worry about it. Make it up. Cut up through 3, 4, 5 balloons of the same size and stack them one on top of another. And you shall see that it will all fall in place. Now, I just took whatever I had in my stash to match as close as I could. It's nothing scientific. As I always say, it's not rocket science, pretty simple, but it's fun. It's fun, and as I said a few minutes ago, it's good quality time if you have children. And most importantly, if you like crafts, it's a good way to pass. And, going back to basics sometimes is just good, because it's not everybody, it makes you, it's not everybody has a budget to do crafts, they're not privileged, some people like that, so to do this, to me, it is a privilege to be able to have the time to do it and be able to do it. And I just like to share, sometimes it's good to go back to basics, to your roots, and put your imagination. Makes you, I think, sometimes a little bit more creative. But that's me anyway. Okay, so where am I going to put this one? Let's just say I'm going to leave it right there. How many do I want, guys? Because I have cut out a bunch with just because I could. I suppose if you had a birthday that was a certain age, you could put as many balloons as the age. That would make sense, wouldn't it? So if I had, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I have 6 years old. But I'm going to make 7 for the 7-year-old because I have it here, just like that. Then I'm going to lay this one down. It's cute, eh? I just find it's adorable. Couldn't wait to get up this morning to do this because I just found that I really liked it, and couldn't wait to share with you guys. I do that, you know. I sleep. Pardon me. I'll wake up in the middle of the night, and I'll be thinking about, oh gosh, I got to do this balloon. Oh gosh, I got to do that. I don't know if you guys are like that, but I shake my head sometime and I think, oh man, you know. Okay, guys, as you can tell, I hadn't done a sample before, so I'm kind of just winging the colors together, trying to just not. I had more reds than I had any other colors, so I should have cut more blues and whatnot, but you get the gist of it, just like that. Now, for the strings, use whatever you have. Like I have tons of different little ropes here. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to use some of these, I think. Let me see. Oh, I've got, what would this one be like? No, don't like that. Oh, I have some cute little ones, but normally they're just with regular roping, aren't they? So maybe I should just do my regular roping. Maybe I'll just do a regular rope or a regular black. I think black would be pretty. Yeah, I'm going to do black. Okay, so I'm just going to cut myself out and adjust as I go along, like I do everything else. And I'm going to cut out a few of my ropes here. How many do I need? I don't know how many I need. I'm just going to kind of work it out as I go along. And so I'm going to attach this one, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue, and I'm going to use my Nouveau because I like it. It dries clear. And I'm just going to kind of do my and hopefully try to follow this as close as I can and see where I go. What do you think? I'm going to start by the tallest here, like that. And then I'm going to run it like this, just like that. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to start here. Doesn't matter where you start really, but and I'm going to run my rope across like this. And cut it. If you're wondering about my scissors, I bought these scissors at Walmart. I think I had 5 or 6 in a pack. I love them. I think they're sharp. I like the fact, the reason I bought it is because of the pointed edge. The pointed ends on it, I find it really easy to get to stuff, and the little tiny ones, there's little tiny blades. I don't know where mine, I think they're in the drawer, but anyway, I just love it for picking at stuff. You know, they're not for sure they're not, I don't expect them to be anything like the Tim Holtz or anything, but I like them. For the money, they do the trick, and I was making a donation to Cancer Society, so that's where that came from. Okay, see how it's getting together? Isn't that adorable, guys? It's not really. I mean, who would not appreciate getting a card like this? Huh? Who do you think? Nobody, because we're all perfect. Now, I think this needs a little bow. I do think, my friends, that they need a little bow, and I am going to get ribbon right now. Hold on, I'm coming right back. Don't go far. Let me see. Not that I needed any stocking up, but they had a really good sale for $2.99 at Michael's. And Michael's, and I kind of, oops, I lost my little strip. And I kind of stocked up on it because I just felt that there were colors that I didn't have, like radiant colors and stuff like that. So I thought, oh gosh. So here is where you can dress it up to the color that you want because of you know, if it's a boy, you put blue. If it's a girl, whatever. And this would even go for a baby. Like, it goes to any age, really. It doesn't need to be made for a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old. And I'm just going to cut a piece. And I'm just going to make a bow. Simple bow. All how I make my bows is I just take a piece, I loop it, run it back, and I run it through, and I loop it again. Okay. I'm on camera, guys. This is why it's doing this. I have no issues making a bow. It's just like tying a sneaker, except you don't have that first loop that tightens it up. So then I tighten it and I pull. And I normally try to buy a two-sided ribbon just because I don't have to flip it. It's just for ease of, yeah, I like that. It's doing what I wanted to do, guys. And nothing that a little glue dot won't put together. Here is just a regular glue dots, but I'm using the larger ones behind my little bow here. And I'm going to attach my little bow underneath like that. And now what we need to do with this is add a little sentiment. Isn't that cute? Isn't that adorable? But kids like a lot of colors, especially, you know. I find they're very dramatic and very, wow, it stimulates them. So I think that's a great way to do. Let me get a card base here. I always have some pre-cut. It's something that I don't have to worry about cutting and making. And usually when I do some, I'll cut a few. And this will fit perfectly on the front of your card, like so. So I'm going to do just that. I'm going to take my good old ATG gun here. Oh, when you know it, as the old saying goes, it's going to let go on camera, but that's okay. I'm in charge. Ha ha ha. As if I'm that kind of a person. Oh my gosh. If you can't have fun, what can you do? Life is good. Now, all right, let me go back here. You know, as I'm making this too, I'm thinking, you know, another thing you could do is you could go 1, 2, 3. I mean, maybe it would make it too busy, but how adorable is that? Huh? How stinking cute is that? That is so sweet. I'm going to cut out a sentiment and add it on, and then we'll be done. I'll be right back. Right, I'm finished with the card. I thought I'd show you. This is the birthday wishes. It's just a banner that I got from a art impression birthday wishes, and I just took the banner that was there. Then I was looking at it and I thought, oh, I got to add some more glitter a little bit. Me and the glitter. So I had some, some pieces here. So I cut just 2 pieces. I didn't like the white that was showing. I found it was too stark. And I entered the inside. I hope your birthday is full of sunshine, since the balloons are going towards the sunshine. So it turned out to be a really cute card with leftover, actually, paper stash that you have. I just want to point out a couple of things. that you could do to add on to this card for those of you who may find it um, just a tad plain, if you want to call it that. I find it colorful, but another something you could do is just a tip. You could take a marker and with your ruler go down each part, which would make it more mosaic. You could form a shadow around all the balloons, which would add features to it. You could add a full frame instead of up and down around it. You could add less balloons. There are so many things that you could do to add on to this card, but I wanted to keep it simple enough that someone with no tools and maybe no imagination as such for creating, I shouldn't say no imagination, everybody's got imagination, but in order, haven't seen it, I wanted to bring you back to old school so you'd have a chance, I call it old school anyway, to have a chance to be able to see and create something so simple but yet so beautiful that any child recipient would appreciate. This is Yvonne, and I'm going to let you go for now, but there'll be more to come, so stick around, but most importantly, be happy.